Monocultures, although profitable, cause substantial harm to the ecosystem. Instead, polycultures should be prioritized and incentivized through governmental subsidies. Specifically, crop rotation should be encouraged. Monocultures are plots of land that are dedicated annually to growing the same crop. While this offers consistent income, it also degrades the soil and reduces the nutrients on the root level of that specific crop. This leads many farmers to add on substantial chemical fertilizers to keep the soil healthy for the next round of crops, which often will lead to runoffs. Another consequence of soil degradation is that the land is more susceptible to fires. As you can see on this graph, from the years of 2018 to 2020, the monthly number of fires would peak at the same time as the second crop planting. This is believed to be due to the soil being extremely dry and low in moisture. These types of monocultures are incentivized financially through government subsidies. As seen on this graph from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, out of the total $11.6 billion spent in subsidies in 2022, $9.1 billion of it was divided between only 4 crops. This encourages farmers to primarily plant those specific crops. This issue is not likely to change through government policies alone. As this graph shows, from the years of 1987 to 2021, the percent of gross farm receipt, or the amount of money a government is willing to pay in support of agricultural development, has continued to decline. The ideal solution would be to implement crop rotations. As can be seen in this photo, crop rotation would allow one plot of land to grow multiple different crops. The same crop could have different plants alongside it that would diversify the nutrients being used. This would reduce the chances of droughts and fires, along with providing alternatives to the 4 main crops. The main issues with crop rotations is the financial burden needed to be invested. Growing multiple crops would require the physical and financial weight to be placed on the individual. There also is the issue of subsidies, which provide farmers with consistent income throughout the year when they plant monocultures. A compromise to this viewpoint are perennial crops, which can survive year-round. After the first initial cost, they would be financially reasonable, along with providing one dependable crop. The financial cost of turning away from the monocultures to a more diverse agroecology is greatly outweighed by the environmental burden of soil degradation. A way to encourage governmental change is to start small. Around the world, many community gardens and local farms are prioritizing diversity by creating polycultures. While a small step, these changes are slowly starting to add up. As more people push for the change from monocultures to polycultures, governmental policymakers will be encouraged to make a larger step towards a healthier environment. The most ideal step would be through crop rotation, where the crops are picked based on differing root lengths and nutrient needs. This will allow the soil not only time to build back up nutrients, but also to gather moisture on unused root levels. If incentivized, polycultures would only benefit both environmentally and economically.